Hello aspirants, welcome to Bajirao Ias Academy. I am Surya. So in this lecture we will be discussing about the Speaker of State Legislative Assemblies. Now this is also in news. The position of Speaker of State Legislative Assemblies recently in news. Why? Because the Speaker of Bihar State Legislative Assembly, he refused to resign until a floor test of assembly, citing a constitutional provisions. Now in this context we will understand the provisions which are in the Indian Constitution, which talks about the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly, what are his powers and what is his constitutional provision. And apart from that, we will also understand his election and his removal process. Now if you look at the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly, it is a state legislative assembly. In fact, when we talk about the state legislative assembly, so this is a legislative wing of the government. Now if you look at the government, it has executive wing, legislative wing and the judicial wing as well. Now state legislative assembly is the legislative wing of the government. Now there are different states which have the bicameral legislature, that is the upper house, state legislative council, and the lower house, that is state legislative assembly. However, very few states have the both houses. Okay, so this is actually the lower house in the bicameral states like Bihar, and the sole house in the unicameral states, and they are also called as Vidhan Sabha. The state legislative assembly is also called as Vidhan Sabha. Now the Speaker of Legislative Assembly, so the constitutional provisions which have been dealing with the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly. Article 178 of the Indian Constitution usually provides for Speaker to preside over the sessions of the State Legislative Assembly. So what is the provision which has been dealing with the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly? It is Article 178 of the Indian Constitution. Now the office of the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly is usually modeled on the Britain lines. Please remember, we have borrowed our parliamentary form of government from the Britain. So in the similar lines, the Speaker of Legislative Assembly position is also modeled on the lines of Britain. So in this context, we need to talk about Article 93 of the Indian Constitution as well. Now, similar to the State Legislative Assembly at the level of state, even for the Lok Sabha, it is at the central level. It is considered as the lower house, and Article 93 of the Indian Constitution provides provisions with respect to Speaker who presides over the session in Lok Sabha. So the current Lok Sabha Speaker is Om Birla. Okay, so Shri Om Birla, right? So Article 178 talks about the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly, and Article 93 talks about the Speaker of Lok Sabha at the central level. Now, what is the procedure of election of the State Legislative Assembly Speaker? Now in state legislature, every year, every 5 years, general elections are conducted. So the State Legislative Assembly at its first session shall elect the Speaker and Deputy Speaker from amongst the members of the respective State Legislative Assembly. Okay, so this is how the election of State Legislative Assembly is usually, Assembly Speaker is usually done. Now, if we talk about the term of the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly, he usually remains in office till the next Speaker sworn in. Okay, so till the next Speaker sworn in, he usually remains in the office. So when we talk about the independence of the Speaker, the salary of the Speaker is usually charged upon the consolidated fund of the state. So this usually means it is not subjected to voting by the Parliament. Okay, it is not subjected to voting in the Parliament because it is charged upon the consolidated fund of the state. So his resignation from the party does not account for the defection. Okay, so the anti-defection law, which is mentioned in the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, has actually provided an exception for the State Legislative Assembly Speaker, because once he elected as a Speaker of a State Legislative Assembly, he can voluntarily gives up the membership of his party till he is the Speaker of State Legislative Assembly, and it does not account for defection, and thereby it upholds the independence of his position, right? So whenever we talk about the vacancy of the State Legislative Assembly Speaker, Article 179 talks about this. So whenever the vacancy has arisen, if he resigns or removed from the office by resolution of state legislative assembly, he ceases to be a member of the house, or he dies, then the vacancy will takes place. Okay, so vacancy, whenever when the vacancy takes place, if he dies or if he ceases to be a member of the lower house, and if he is removed by a resolution by the state legislative assembly, or if he resigns, then vacancy takes place, and it has been mentioned in article 179 of the Indian Constitution. So article 180 says that whilst office of the speaker is vacant, the duties of the office shall be performed by a deputy speaker. Because please remember, when state legislative assembly election has taken place, in first session the members of the state legislative assembly shall elect the speaker and deputy speaker from amongst its members. So therefore, if it is also vacant, the position of deputy speaker is also vacant by such member of the state legislative assembly as governor may appoint for that particular purpose. So this is what article 180 of the Indian Constitution says. Now after that, we need to talk about the removal of the speaker of state legislative assembly. A no confidence motion can be brought against the speaker after 14 days of notice to the secretary. So if we wanted to remove the speaker of state legislative assembly, a 14-day notice have to be served for the introduction of the no confidence motion against the speaker. Now in this context, article 181 of the Indian Constitution says that when a motion for his removal is discussed in the house, he does not preside over the state legislative assembly. So whenever this no confidence motion is introduced, he will not preside the state legislative assembly. So in normal cases, he usually preside over the state legislative assembly. So after that, we need to talk about the powers and functions of the speaker as well. So he ensures the quorum. Okay, so generally quorum is 10% of the members attendance. So if there's no 10% of the members in sessions of these state legislative assemblies, then the speaker would adjourn this session. Speaker would adjourn the session, and he would also ensure the order and discipline in the house, and he may adjourn or suspend the sitting to maintain the quorum, order or discipline. Okay, so apart from that, he does not participate in the debates in the state legislative assembly and casts a vote only if there is a tie in the voting. Okay, so the speaker will not cast his vote at its first instance. Rather, if it is a tie, only then the speaker will cast his or her vote. Okay, so he may even suspend or expel members of the house for unruly behavior, and recently several members of parliament have been suspended on this charge. Okay, so in fact, the state legislative assembly speaker also decides the money bill. Okay, so this is the ultimate authority of the state legislative assembly speaker to decide on the money bill, and not his decisions cannot be challenged in the court of law. Now apart from money bill, the ultimate authority to decide the anti-defection law petitions is also lies with the speaker of state legislative assembly, and it has become controversial in recent years. So unlike speaker of the Lok Sabha, speaker of the state legislative assembly does not preside over the joint session of two houses, because there is no provision of joint session in states. Okay, so joint session in bicameral states. Because of this reason, the speaker of state legislative assembly will not preside over the joint sitting, and this usually happens with respect to the Lok Sabha. Okay, so that's all the details about the speaker of state legislative assembly, his powers, functions, and his removal and election. Okay, so please like the video if you really like our work, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any suggestions and any recommendations, please comment those in the comment section. Thank you.